What you guys got another video. Why Windows updates actually matter. I see so many people that will pause updates for far too long, and also some people will say remind me tomorrow before they actually install. This person right here says he's still on Windows 11 23H2 and wondering if it's worth updating to 26H1 or H2. And that is the big problem I see with a lot of people. They literally pause updates for far too long. 23H2 has already reached end of life, and that means his system is vulnerable. And you may be thinking I'm exaggerating when I say his system is vulnerable, because so many people believe that your system is not vulnerable and you just need to install an antivirus program and you'll be perfectly fine. To leave updates paused for years, if not many months. So let's talk about Microsoft's Patch Tuesday that fixed a record-breaking 570 vulnerabilities. And you can see right here in the update section, there'll be people that will turn off notifications and pause updates for far too long. This means your system is not going to receive the fixes and patches that Microsoft have released, which is going to patch 570 vulnerabilities in a single month, including active zero-day exploits. And a couple of things you're going to see all the time with Windows is remote code execution. These are RCEs, hackers taking control of your computer. There's also elevation of privilege, EOP, hackers gaining administrator rights to your computer. And this is the real risk of when you don't literally update your operating system on a regular basis. Now, Windows 11 and Windows 10 has versions. These are the versions you can see right here. This is on the Windows Insider program. It's 26H2. But I've seen people using really old versions of Windows that are now end of life, and they're still running them today, just like that guy in that comment. And he's just one of many comments I've seen where people are pausing updates for like years at a time, which is crazy. The number one reason why updates exist is security. Think of your operating system like a massive digital house with thousands of doors and windows. When code is written, small mistakes called vulnerabilities get left behind. Hackers spend days, if not months, trying to find these unlocked doors to gain access to that operating system. And that is why it's so important to make sure you are using a version of Windows that is still receiving updates and security updates. If you are not using one of these versions, you are leaving yourself vulnerable. It's not just your computer that is vulnerable for hackers to gain access. It's also your network, because once they're in, they'll gain access to your network. And you can see on this site, it gives you versions of Windows which are already obsolete. They're out of date and they've reached end of life. And 23H2 is one of those. And I see so many people still on 23H2. So what is the recent Microsoft Patch Tuesday that fixed a record-breaking 570 flaws in their operating system? Microsoft July 2026 Patch Tuesday had a record-breaking security updates. And you can see here 2 zero-day vulnerabilities exploited in attacks, security feature bypasses, denial of service, information disclosure, there was 102 of those, remote code execution, there was 145 of those, and elevation of privilege, 254 of those. That's 59 critical bugs that need to be patched. And you can see right here, they're all listed out so you can see them nice and clearly. It's quite worrying to think that people could quite easily gain access to your Windows computer without security updates. And that's why it's so important that people need to update security updates on a regular basis. Now, it's okay to pause updates for 30 days, but if you start getting onto 4, 5, 6, 8 months and even longer, you are now going to leave yourself vulnerable. And you may be thinking that I've got an antivirus program and that's going to keep me safe. But remember, antivirus software does not block or fix underlying Windows operating system vulnerabilities, no matter what the operating system is. Antivirus programs are a security program that are looking for known malware. They do not patch actual software flaws in your operating system, period. So only Microsoft security updates can fix vulnerabilities in the operating system. Your firewall and your antivirus is not going to block those and protect you. So vulnerabilities are security flaws and holes in the code in the operating system. And your antivirus program, just like Malwarebytes, is designed to stop malware. And that's pretty much it. It's looking for malware. It's not looking for exploited holes in the operating system or flaws in the code of the operating system. So bear that in mind, especially if you're using old operating systems like Windows 7. It's just going to be completely flawed because none of those patches have been pushed down to Windows 7 for many years, and that means those holes and flaws and vulnerabilities are just sitting there waiting for a hacker to come on in, and they will. Now, like I said earlier, there's a variety of different vulnerabilities that Microsoft patch on a regular basis. This is just one of them right here, and you'll see the severity of it and how they use these vulnerabilities to gain access to your system. And it will say here, use after a free Windows storage allows the authorized attacker to elevate privileges locally. That means they're giving themselves administrator privileges on your system, and that's scary. And that's the big problem when you don't patch the operating system. All of these vulnerabilities will just be sitting there. It's like leaving all your house and door windows open all the time and going out and going on holiday for 2 weeks and hoping no one goes inside your house, because that's exactly what is happening with your operating system. And I don't care how clued up you are in IT, it is not going to protect you. So you need to have a good look at some of the updates. Now, some people are way behind. They are months and months and months behind. This is just 1 month of 570 vulnerabilities. And you can click and check these for yourself. You just have to do a little click on the article right here, and it will tell you the sort of vulnerabilities that Microsoft are patching. And don't let the Linux fanboys con you in the comments section saying I'm sitting here in the cheap seats on my Linux operating system. I don't have to worry about this stuff. Oh, yes, you do, because Linux is full of holes as well. It's not perfect. And every operating system will have flaws and vulnerabilities and holes that need to be patched on a regular basis. And Linux is no different. And of course, you're going to get the people in the comments section saying I'm fear-mongering people and I'm trying to frighten people and misleading people. And it's not. It's just I'm stating the facts. And if you don't do it, that's on you. That's your computer. You run your computer how you like. I'm just giving you tech information that is important that you should be following. And if you're not following it, then you're going to be vulnerable. Just have a look at this list right here on Bleeping Computer. Now, you can stop this anytime you like and click on any of these CVEs and they will give you full-blown information. All the .NET frameworks, you can see there's vulnerabilities there, Active Directory, certificate services, and there's tons and tons. You can click on these right here. They will open up a page and you can read the type of vulnerability it is. And this one's for the .NET Framework Denial of Service vulnerability, and it will give you the date and it will also give you other information right here. And you can go ahead and read some more. And there's some critical ones here as well for Active Directory. There's quite a few there for Active Directory. And the list just goes on and on and on. There's tons and tons of vulnerabilities. Now, I know what some people are going to say in the comments section is, oh my God, Windows is like a sieve. But Microsoft are a £1 trillion company and they are literally chucking loads and loads of money at security. Whereas you might say Linux doesn't. And that's probably why. And there will be vulnerabilities in Linux as well. It's just that a lot of people don't cover that sort of stuff on channels. But I cover everything on this channel to bring you information that is important to keep you safe online. And you can see right here, heap-based buffer overflow in desktop Windows Manager allows authorized attacker to elevate privileges locally. That means they're giving themselves administrative privileges on your computer using a vulnerability that has now been patched. And you can go through the list here. There's ones here for Copilot as well. And this is a critical one. Click on this and it will take you to the page and you can read exactly how people are using Microsoft Copilot remote code execution vulnerability. And I mentioned this yesterday, Linux is no different. And in yesterday's video, I put a video up about Linux also starting to embrace AI. And Linus Torvalds said, if you don't like the AI is being used to develop and maintain Linux, Torvalds says tough. AI is part and parcel of developing Linux now, and that is not changing anytime soon. And no one wants to be left behind. So they are now starting to embrace AI. Windows is already doing it. Linux is now starting to do it. They're starting to use it to maintain and also develop Linux. Yes, you can build a fork off the main operating system like Ubuntu and build something else like Zorin OS. But at the end of the day, Linux is starting to embrace AI. And of course, with AI being used, they know that they can find bugs and they can find write code and they can do a lot of things much more efficiently and quicker. And this is why a lot of operating systems are starting to use AI. And that means it can be abused as well. And you've got one right here as well with a workaround in Microsoft Defender allows unauthorized attacker to execute code locally. And it's the same with, AI. They will use AI as a tool to be able to exploit an operating system. They will use it for good and for bad. There's lots of bad people out there. And probably as time goes on, AI will be used more and more. And you're probably going to see AI being exploited more and more because people are using it more and more and learning how to use it. Microsoft Office is another one that was massively updated. There was literally tons of Microsoft Office that had to be patched. Microsoft Office remote code execution vulnerability right here, one of many. This is a critical update that needs to be done on your system. And of course, if you're pausing updates and you don't update Windows, then of course, and you do have Office on there, I've seen people using old versions of Office that aren't even supported anymore or not even receiving updates anymore, and yet they still use them, which will make your whole operating system vulnerable. So this video is about why you shouldn't ignore Windows updates and you shouldn't be putting them off. The same thing can be said for Linux as well. If you are using an old version of Linux that's outdated and it doesn't receive any support anymore, you should be using a supported version of that operating system or any operating system and keep it updated on a regular basis. If you leave it too long, you're going to get way outdated. And of course, another problem you're going to face if you don't update, say, for instance, Windows that often, and you're using an old obsolete version that has already reached end of life. When you go to roll out updates to the latest version, you can run into big problems and you may need to do a fresh install because it might not work and you might have problems updating. Anyway, with that said, I'll leave all this information in the video description for you so you can take a look at this at your own leisure. So how long should you go without updating Windows? Well, I suppose that's up for debate. A lot of people are going to argue the pros and cons about that. It's just like not using a seatbelt in your car. How long will you go before you end up having an accident if you don't have a seatbelt on? You're running the gauntlet, really. You're playing Russian roulette with your life. And yes, it might not be as serious having no updates on your PC, but it's still a serious vulnerability to your computer and to your local network. Anyway, my name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Just want to say a quick shout out for all my YouTube members who have joined my YouTube members group. I really do appreciate the support, and I shall catch you in the very next video, or I'll catch you on the Discord server for a chat. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.